Sony just held its first State of Play for 2026 and it was packed with some really great announcements. Let's talk about it. Hello there everybody and welcome to The Comfy Spot. My name is Tyler and today we are going to be talking about Sony's February 2026 State of Play that was over 60 minutes long, and boy oh boy, it had so many awesome announcements in the State of Play from start to finish. We got some new Castlevania, we got the announcement of a AAA John Wick game, we got some more Beast of Reincarnation, some Metal Gear Solid stuff there from people as well, some new Silent Hill Townfall that got a proper gameplay reveal here, and I think we got like a release window on it too. Just so much good stuff here. Really, I think something for everyone. I'm not going to go over the entire State of Play in this video, rather I'm going to talk about my highlights from the show. I have 6 highlights from the show, 7 if you kind of want to separate 2 of them because I kind of bundled 2 of them together into one. But without further ado, let's talk about my highlights from this State of Play. We're going to start this off by talking about the game that kicked off the State of Play, that being the surprise announcement of Kena Scars of Kosmora. This is the sequel to Kena Bridge of Spirits that came out back in 2021 if I remember correctly, developed by Ember Labs. I'm so happy. I'm so happy that we are getting another game from Ember Labs, the sequel to Kena. I've been waiting for this game for such a long time. I was hoping that Ember Labs would go back to the series and continue the story, because the first Kena game, Bridge of Spirits, was absolutely a really great game. When I reviewed it way back when, I think I gave it like an 8 or 8.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed the story. I felt Kena herself was a tad underdeveloped as a character, but I enjoyed the story. I thought it was very heartfelt, very emotional, and the visuals, of course, were very stunning, and the gameplay was surprisingly challenging, but it was also very fun, and it looks like we're getting all of that just built on and improved here for sure with Scars of Kosmora. So the premise here, Kena is back, of course. It takes place not sure how many years after or how much time after the first game, but Kena is older. She is more renowned as a spirit guide now, and she is in this new region called Kosmora. She is there because she's trying to find answers to this affliction that apparently she has been dealing with all her life. Again, just showing that we're building on that character development that was lacking from Kena in the first game. So at some point during the story, while she's here, her staff is broken by this more powerful spirit, so she has to use Kosmora's forgotten form of spirit guiding that uses alchemy in order to fix her staff. And on top of that, the staff also was like part of what kept her alive, again going into that affliction side of things. So I'm just loving what we're getting here in terms of Kena's character development and how the story is going to be building, improving it and stuff. But also we're seeing like this that apparently the alchemy that the Kosmora region uses for its form of spirit guiding, that's also going to play a part in the combat as well, and just I guess the rest of the world generally, because apparently the alchemy is also used to manipulate the elements. So we see Kena using what appears to be like elemental abilities of sort. Namely, I believe in the trailer we see her using a lot of like green elemental abilities, where she kind of created like this green elemental crystal that appeared out of nowhere. I think she might have done like a wind attack at some point. The trailer was very kind of fast. I only got to see it once before recording this video. But there are also these things called elemental spirits that are going to be in the game. They'll be like these little companions, somewhat similar, I guess, in essence to the rot that we had in the first game, and how the rot played a role in things when it came to combat and when it came to exploration and puzzle solving. We're going to have elemental spirits now. There are going to be different types of elemental spirits, various different elements. So I imagine we'll probably get a fire one, an ice one, maybe a wind. We saw what seemed like an earth type one in the trailer. It was like this green fox, or this fox that had like a green tail and stuff. Really cool. We saw Kano also like riding it around, so that's awesome. It starts off small, but we see her riding it around at some point. And the team at Ember Lab did confirm that as you go through the game and you get these new spirits and everything, they will grow. You'll earn new abilities for them as you forge a deeper bond with them and all. There's so much here from what we're seeing that I am so excited about. Again, the first Kena, the Bridge of Spirits, was a lot of fun. and I really enjoyed the combat. The parrying I was not the best at. I was definitely leaned more towards blocking and dodging, and at times some of those boss fights had like crazy difficulty spikes, but nevertheless it was still a very fun game, very well made game. And if Ember Labs is able to learn from the lessons that they learned from the first game, improve on elements, again most notably Kata's character development, I really seem like they're doing that here. I imagine we're going to be having another really great game here on our hands. Another game with a very heartfelt, emotional story, characters to get deeply invested in, just that you'll be crying over in some capacity or getting teary-eyed over in some capacity. Because that was something else I didn't really expect for the first one. I didn't expect it to be just like as hard-hitting as it was. So now that we know what Ember Labs is capable of narratively, I'm excited to see what they do here with Kena Scars of Kosmora. And it's coming later on this year, 2026 as of right now, not sure when exactly, but it's coming to PlayStation 5 and PC. That is very exciting. I would imagine if it is 100% still landing this year, maybe it's a late summer game. This is a game that would definitely want to avoid GTA 6 in any way possible. So I don't think, I mean, if it is a December thing, maybe it's like middle of December. But beyond that, I feel like this is a game that you want to try and get out in August or September. That was around the time frame that the first Kata came out in. Try and get it out August or September, get it far away from the GTAs, get it far away from Wolverine, get it far away from whatever Call of Duty is coming out this year. Give it its own moment, its own time. That way it can really just thrive. And I think we got another hit on our hands here with Kena Scars of Kosmora. My second highlight from the state of play is going to be Control Resonance. We got ourselves a nice little healthy look at gameplay here from the game. It was from an early mission. We saw, Dylan's character engaging in some combat. The combat looked cool and all. Seems kind of really punchy, really weighty. But what really blew me away with this was the environment and the traversal. Now, of course, in the original announcement trailer for the game, we saw environments that seemed like basically as if like we were playing in Inception, more or less, with the world, New York City, just all turned in upside down on itself and everything. It was very bizarre, very just like mind-bending. And here in the game, that's actually stuff that you'll actually be able to like take advantage of that and like interact with it as being as mind-bending as it is. So you might be walking on the ground on one plane, but then you look up and then you see like an enemy on the side of a building. So then you just change gravity in a way and then you're fighting on the side of the building. It kind of reminded me of Gravity Rush to an extent, if anyone ever played that game, where you just shift your gravity and then you're on this and then you're on that. You're fighting on the side of a building or upside down or so on and so forth. And I was just like, that looks so cool. It looks so awesome. Got me really excited for Control Resident, far more than I already was. I was hyped for it. I was looking forward to it, but now I'm looking forward to it even much more just off that basis alone. Definitely looking forward to hearing more about this game, more about the story, getting a deeper look at gameplay. I mean, especially because, we're not doing third-person shooter now, we're doing third-person action combat here. It looks fun, it looks cool. I like this gameplay look that we got here at the State of Play. So, hey, Control Resonant still coming out this year. Looking forward to playing that one. My third highlight is going to be Project Windless. This game is coming from Crafton Montreal Studio, and it is set in the universe of the novel series The Bird That Drinks Tears, except this game takes place more than 1,000 years prior to the books. I have never heard of this series before at all, so this whole thing was completely brand new to me. But as soon as the trailer starts and we're seeing, this woman who's seeming really evil, of course, just straight up having her army murking people and taking people out, taking out villages and stuff. And then all of a sudden, eventually, as the trailer goes on, you get to this giant chicken, this giant chicken looking character with a sword, and it just starts just taking out everyone. And that's who you play as. You play as, at first what I thought was this giant chicken soldier type thing with like this twin blade weapon and all, but Come to find out, after doing some reading on the PlayStation blog, you're not a giant chicken. In this universe of the bird that drinks tears, this character comes from a race called the Reckon. They are just like humanoid birds essentially, and so that's cool. But just watching this gameplay, it looked absolutely just like mind-blowing. I was like, this looks so over the top and wild in terms of like, we're fighting Dynasty Warriors numbers of enemies here. It's kind of like Muso style combat, and just in terms of like, I'm fighting an army right here. I'm fighting an army and I'm just one hit killing them, mowing them all down. It looked absolutely just exhilarating. I couldn't get over it. But again, reading the PlayStation blog, this is going to be an open world action RPG, and the team at Crafted Montreal Studios says that the team, they wanted it to be an open world with as little hand holding as possible. And right now this game is just in development. It's going to be some time before I imagine we get an official title for this game. I imagine it'll be a while before we get, you know, a deeper look at it or a release date of any kind. But nevertheless, I am all in on this game, on Project Windless here. Yes, that is mostly because of the giant chicken aspect of it all, but also like the gameplay itself looks like a lot of fun. You know, I got to see more about what this open world is going to entail, what the story is going to be like and all, but nevertheless, Project Windless definitely stuck out to me a whole lot here. It is going to be a game that I'm going to be keeping my eyes on, and I imagine many of you out there will be keeping your eyes on it as well. My next highlight from the state of play is going to be Star Wars Galactic Racer. We got this announcement at the Game Awards this past year. This time around, we're getting, you know, a look at actual gameplay for it. And I was interested in the game before, I was and everything, but I wasn't like crazy excited about it. But something about this trailer here, just seeing the gameplay and how just fast-paced, high-octane the action was, really spoke to me. And I was like, ooh, I'm more interested in this game now. I'm really excited to play this. I really want to like get my hands on this and see how this game is. We got a bit of like a tease of what the story is going to be here, or story details, elements here. We also got the confirmation pod racing is here. We're going to have pod racers in the game. They weren't really present in the announcement trailer back in December, but pod racers are going to be here, and the game is coming at some point later on in 2026 as of right now. So hey, Galactic Racer, I'm excited for it. This trailer definitely turned me around. It raised my excitement, raised the hype for me. I would like to think it did for many others out there who were already excited, like, yes, another Star Wars racing game. This trailer right here, I imagine also probably did a whole lot for you. So hey, that's why I made my highlight list here for this state of play. So my second to last highlight is going to be Sorrows. We got a kind of like an extended gameplay demo or deep dive into the game here. This time it was really focusing on the Comeback Stronger features and the Eclipse gameplay of it all. So we found out, you know, that I think this is new information to us. The name of the planet that we're on is called Carcosa, and there's this area in the game, I guess you can call it your central hub, called the Passage, where you're going to be interacting with members of the Echelon 4 team, I guess the surviving members and all. But here in the Passage, this is also where you'll be able to unlock your permanent progression unlocks as well. The team also confirmed here, or showed off these things that you can activate or turn on called modifiers before each run. And there are modifiers that can make things easier or make things harder for you, but you can't just do all of one or all of the other. It has to, like, your modifiers have to fall within a certain balance level, and that the game like clearly lays out for you. Your modifiers have to fall into that balance in order for you to start your run. That way there is still a specific level of challenge that is maintained throughout each run. So that's cool. I like that. I like that, you know, that way, you know, you can kind of tailor each run a bit more towards your playstyle, or just like how you're trying to feel about a run. Maybe you want a specific run to be a bit more chill than a past one. You can, you know, maybe turn on certain modifiers to have it lean towards that direction a bit more than others. Or if you want it to be a much harder challenge, you turn on those modifiers and maybe have lesser of the easier modifiers. So that's cool. And then Housemarque also confirmed, they more so again revealed, that you'll be able to teleport to any biome that you have reached. So unlike in Returnal, where if you reach biome 3 and you died, you have to go all the way back to biome 1 and restart going all the way to biome 1 and 2 to get to biome 3. That's not the case anymore. If you die, let's say on biome 7 in Saros, you can just respawn and then teleport directly to biome 7 if you want to. You can, of course, still do a marathon and go through every single biome in sequential order if you would like to, but it's cool that you don't have to if you do not want to. And there's also this alien device that they talked about called an eclipse that you can create, that you can start. And the eclipse basically just escalates the difficulty, more or less. It escalates the entire experience. So enemies are going to be harder. They have these attacks that can corrupt you, which reduces your max armor unless you cleanse it with your power weapon. So that's the thing. I guess the environment also changes some as well. The audio changes up some as well. The visuals change to reflect just the heightened state of the world now that the eclipse is happening. So everything that we've seen from Saros so far, ever since it was first announced and revealed, has seemed like Returnal 2.0. Housemarque taking the lessons that they learned from Returnal, taking in people's feedback, taking in the complaints people had about the difficulty of Returnal, and implementing them into Saros in a way where it is still going to be a challenging game. It's still going to be that classic fast-paced action, that bullet hell experience that you expect from Housemarque. You're still going to get that, but there are going to be some quality of life improvements built into the very design of Saros that make it, I guess, a more approachable or possibly palatable experience than Returnal was for many people out there. I myself did not have too much of a hard time with Returnal, but I understand why many did. So it's cool that Housemarque is doing this to try and, get more people into the door and make it a game that more people can get through, especially if they have a more directed and controlled narrative that they want to tell with the story here. You definitely want to try and make it so that people can get through it start to finish, as opposed to how Returnal had one, but it was definitely very vague and obtuse. So you kind of you weren't missing out much if you didn't get through the whole story. But if they do have one they clearly want to tell, they obviously want people to get through it. So implementing these changes, these fixes, these quality of life improvements is all just going to make the experience better for achieving that goal. Does it I guess cheapen the gameplay experience for those of us who enjoyed how Returnal was in terms of that game's difficulty? We gotta wait to see it. We gotta wait to see how this game is balanced and all, how difficult this one is, if the challenges have been all sanded away and it's just these new improvements and stuff make it a bit too easy. We gotta wait to see. April 30th is when Saros comes out. I'm excited to play it. I will be there on day one for sure. And finally, my last highlights from the show. This is the 2-in-1 I talked about, so technically 7, but I'm counting it as 6. The God of War section, essentially, at the end of this state of play. We got 2 announcements here. The first being that we are getting a remake of God of War 1, 2, and 3. The original God of War Greek trilogy is going to be remade. An original Kratos voice actor, T.C. Carson, is returning as well for the role. He confirmed that it is now in development in the early stages, as one would expect. So, don't expect to hear or see anything about this game anytime soon. I would not expect this game to be releasing. It is 2026 now. I don't expect this game to release until 2029 at the earliest. That's being very hopeful and optimistic, because here is the thing. I am of two minds with this. On one hand, yes, it is hype as hell that the original Greek trilogy is going to be remade in modern hardware. It'll be super cool to see, all these things, just modern visuals and everything, so on and so forth. The Hydra fight, the going through Kronos and the temple that was on his back. In God of War 1, I'm pretty sure it's Kronos. And then, God of War 2 with the fight at the very beginning of the game with the statue. That'll be just hype as hell, going through all the underworld stuff. And then God of War 3, I mean, God of War 3 is already just wild in terms of what that game does, and the visual spectacle of it with PS3 hardware. I can only imagine what they would do with it with PS5 or PS6 hardware. That said, I don't know if we really need remakes of this trilogy. Again, most specifically God of War 3, because like I just said, now, it's been a while since I played these games, but God of War 3 still holds up very well visually, and I feel like from a gameplay perspective as well. It still holds up for the style of game that those were. God of War 1 and 2, of course, visually don't hold up as well as God of War 3, but they are still not ugly games by any means. Gameplay wise, maybe there's like some traversal control stuff that could be improved, but beyond that, I don't know what we would benefit from or gain in terms of a remake of those two games. I'm not quite sure. There's also, I saw some people talk about this afterwards. I didn't think about it in the moment, but also I wonder if Sony Santa Monica will kind of sanitize Kratos a bit. I mean, I doubt they will, because Kratos in the Greek games, he has to be who he is in order to get him to where he is with the Norse games. So I doubt they'll sanitize him that much. Perhaps they will remove the sex mini games. I don't think those will be there anymore. And maybe in God of War 3, they will give us more of a clean, clear-cut showing of like a transition to Kratos getting to the Norse lands. I don't know. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But either way, it's just like I don't see the benefit of a remake of these first three games. I really don't. And it's going to be a long time before these games come out. What does the scope of this remake trilogy look like? Like, are we going to be getting one game first? And like, I just don't understand. I don't understand. There are so many questions about this. How long is this project going to take? Are we going to be getting one game 1 year, then the next game the following year? Are they going to be spaced 2 years apart, 3 years, 4? There's so many questions. I have no idea. So I guess as someone who's currently living through the Final Fantasy VII trilogy remake series, I'm kind of like, I don't know. I don't know about this, guys. How long is this going to take you all to do? So, I guess it is what it is. I will say, I feel like God of War Ragnarok, specifically the Valhalla DLC, put Kratos' story on, I put a nice bow on his story and, in my opinion, definitively ended it. So if you're not sure where to take him specifically further from that point, I guess this is the next best thing, going back and remaking the original trilogy. I'd rather you do that than create a new story for him that does not need to be made when his story ends pretty perfectly in Ragnarok's Valhalla DLC. Even still, not the biggest fan of this big picture when I really think about it, but of course I will still be there on day one whenever it comes out, because I like the series, I do enjoy the games, and I would want to see what this is like, for myself. So we gotta wait and see for that. But of course, the second part of the whole God of War section was the official announcement of God of War Sons of Sparta. This is that 2D side-scrolling God of War game set in the Greek era that we have heard about for a long time. Has been rumored for a while, officially announced now, is being developed in partnership with the studio Megacat Studios, and it has this pixel art visual style. It looks pretty cool, and the story here, the premise, is that this is actually long before Kratos was a god. This is before Kratos was a father. This is when he was still a Spartan, when he was still a Spartan, like a teenage Spartan, in Sparta, and his journey, he going on a journey with his brother Demos. I'm actually really into that idea. I know I put out a video last year when these rumors really caught a lot of flame. I was a bit hesitant on the idea of going back to the Greek era, because I was wondering, I was like, what story do we have to tell? What story do we have to tell in between any of God of War 1 through Ascension, all those games there? Where are we going to go with the story? What are we going to do? I feel like that era is more or less done and dusted. We don't need to milk that cow anymore. But going to before all of that is actually very interesting. There could definitely be a story to tell there. I'm surprised I never thought about that. So this is cool. I'm into it. It is out already right now, today, on PS5. I already purchased it. I downloaded it on my PS5, so I will definitely be jumping into that for sure. I'm excited to play that, give it a spin, see how I like it, see where that story takes us. But, you know, 2 big announcements at the end of the show, a nice shadow drop at the end. Huge stuff nonetheless. Even if I'm a bit mixed on one of the announcements, still cool stuff nonetheless from God of War here at the State of Play. And there you have it. Those are my highlights from the February 2026 PlayStation State of Play. Like I said, there were a lot of cool announcements here. Many I did not cover as my highlights for this video because you know, these are just my pure highlights. But again, there's just so many things in the State of Play, top to bottom, that I thought looked very, very cool. That new JRPG coming from Konami, I think it's called Rev Noir, that looks cool. We got a new look at characters coming to Marvel Tokon. That's awesome as well. Once again, the John Wick game is cool. The Metal Gear Solid collection, that's dope. Silent Hill Townfall looks pretty sick as well. Just, there was a lot here. There was a lot here, start to finish. Pretty good show for everyone. If I was to give it a letter grade, I'd probably give it like a B+, A-. It was well paced, top to bottom, just great show all around. So let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. What were your highlights from this PlayStation State of Play? What were you hoping for from it? What were you disappointed that did not appear here? I was not expecting Kingdom Hearts 4 or Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3. 7 Remake Part 3, like I said on Twitter and on Blue Sky. If we're getting an announcement for that anytime soon, it'll be in the summer, after Rebirth comes out on Switch and Xbox. And Kingdom Hearts 4, it'll happen when it happens. But what were you all disappointed did not appear here? Again, let's have a conversation. Let's talk about the State of Play in the comment section down below. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And hit that notification bell. That way you know as soon as new videos go live. My name is Tyler. This has been The Comfy Spot. We'll talk next time. Have a good one.